Welcome to Diamond Niners Weekly. This is week 9 of the 2021 season. We are live on YouTube on a Thursday night, talking all things Charlotte 49er baseball. As always, this is Nick, and I'm joined by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
We got Coach Woody.
Hey, everybody.
And producer Brad making all this work.
Hey.
All right, folks, we got a lot of stuff to get into tonight, and we're going to get to it. We appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're listening live on YouTube, drop us a comment in the chat function. Let us know where you are and where you're listening from. We love hearing from you guys. You can also hit us up on social media. Questions and comments are always welcome, so feel free to reach out. Okay, boys, another week in the books. How's everybody feeling?
All good. We made it. We made it home safely, not necessarily in a timely manner, but we made it home safely. And, we had some really great team bonding after our FIU series. So it's all good.
Yeah, we're going to give you a chance to talk about that because there's probably some good – I have a feeling there's some good stories involved in that bus ride maybe. But
Kevin, the best stories probably don't involve me being around or present.
Yeah, as it should be. Kevin, you got a little league update for us?
Yeah. Everybody's back from spring break. We had a couple practices and had one T-ball game. All went well, and then we had another 10U game and got another victory. So
you won the 10U game.
The time off helped, I think, and we're rolling.
Got everybody refocused, and
little R&R.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing a bunch of wild child spring breakers on your team. That's all I'm picturing.
Those 9-year-olds are crazy.
Yeah,
they're crazy.
Now, the T-ball game, you don't keep scoring those, right?
No, everyone gets on base and everyone bats through for an inning.
Is there an unofficial score?
No, it's infinity. Infinity.
Hey, based on some of the videos I've seen, that's probably about right. So awesome deal. Well, we'll keep up with that. You're doing a great job, Coach. You're keeping us on track here. All right, folks. This was another exciting week of Charlotte 49ers baseball. The boys go down to Miami, take on FIU in a 4-game series, and come away with 4 W's. Now 22-9 on the season, 11-1 in Conference USA, which is good for first place, if you don't mind me saying. Coach, another weekend of you got the pitching you needed, you got the hitting you needed, and you got the defense you needed.
Yeah, no, thanks. It was, to your point, it was I thought that was our most complete weekend of the 3. At FIU, I thought, although our starting pitching, we have some guys that I think that they would agree that they want to be at another level here this weekend. I thought our bullpen was as good as it's been for the most part. We had a little stretch there at the end on Sunday, but it's going to happen in a 32-inning series. But I thought our bullpen was as good as it's been in the 3 weekends, and then I thought our offense was tremendous and multifaceted, being able to play both the long ball and small ball. And then defensively, I thought, it's a nice playing surface, but the infield dirt at FIU is actually it's very firm. And when you play day in and day out on turf, and then you go down and you play on really, really hard dirt, again, nice surface, no complaints whatsoever. It's just very different. And I thought our infielders battled as to make plays. You have to really come get the ball on that surface. You cannot sit back. If you sit back, you will lose your teeth. And I thought our infielders really battled and made some really great plays defensively. And we in the box score, we're going to have a few more errors, but they had a couple of errors too on the same infield dirt. And, it's just a matter of making fewer mistakes. And I thought we did the component of our game that I thought was at a significantly better level was our base running. I thought our base running was a huge separator in the series as far as, obviously some timely stolen bases with the starters and pinch runners, guys going first to third, guys advancing on dirt balls, guys getting good secondaries, allowing them to score from second base. There's just a lot of really, really good base running, I thought, on the weekend, that with guys extending and taking extra bases, some safety squeezes that I thought we executed tremendously. We had back-to-back safety squeezes there on Sunday that really extended us to a much needed lead as we knew we were going to need there at the back end of the game. And we almost had 3 in a row, but once Carson got a strike on him, we pulled it back, and obviously he's swinging it really well, so we tried to let him hit. But we went for 3 in a row, and it was in the back of my mind to keep doing it until it was defended. Really, really proud of our team across the board. It's an incredibly difficult thing to do, to go on the road and win a series, much less sweep a series. FIU has pro prospects all over the field. Coach Melendez is an excellent coach, and their coaching staff is very well respected. So to go down there and have that success is big. And, but like we say each and every week, that series ended last Sunday. We're home now. We had a new team practicing on our field here tonight. We've had really good days of practice here, getting healthier and stronger and sharper on some things, and time to go play a new opponent.
I don't think, as I recall it seems like maybe Coach Melendez was a little upset with his team after that second safety squeeze in a row worked. Seems like
the frustrating thing
might have been a little bit of frustration setting in there.
Well, I think any coach gets frustrated when any kind of a weakness gets exploited. We're not even a weakness, but that's just part of it. It's our guys. It was textbook. It was textbook execution. It's really tough to defend. When you execute a safety squeeze, first and third or second and third, and less than 2 outs, and it's just really hard to defend. So I give our guys a lot of credit, and we as coaches tend to get a little fired up when things don't go well in the game.
Coach, you talked a little bit about the trip down there, or this was our first flight of the year as a team. Tell us, for those of us who haven't heard the story about get down there, winning the 4 games, and then the adventure back.
Yeah, no. So we started something new this year where we, on every trip, every flight that we take, except for Rice, we can't do it with Rice. We actually do what we call a deadhead a bus. And so we will actually pack up the bus with all of our bags with equipment and uniforms and baseball gear and everything that we will traditionally check going to the airport. We'll pack it up on Wednesday and we'll send it down, we'll send it off. And the driver will drive through the night, so that way on Thursday we can go to the airport with just the bags that we're going to carry on. It saves us a ton of convenience. It's a tick more expensive, but the time and effort and convenience that allows us to our guys to stay in class a little bit longer and get through security faster, et cetera. It's a big help. So we did that, and then we flew down on the same flight as the softball team, which was pretty cool. Just because they're having a heck of a year. And, I think our guys are really good, good friends with their players. And it was just neat. And on top of that, we're all testing, twice a week. So to be on a plane that's pretty much all Charlotte athletics was, from a coaching standpoint and a protocol standpoint, it was, gave us a little bit of peace of mind that you're around, pretty much the whole flight, it was us and been tested. So, that was good. We got down there and we had a really great practice Thursday night, as we typically do. The lights cut off on us at 8:00 in the middle of our BP session, so we had to flip those back on. And then like you said, in terms of traveling, found out Sunday that our Coach Simmons came up to me in the middle of the 4th inning on Sunday, and right between innings when their pitcher's warming up, and he says, "Hey, Coach, just gonna give you a heads up that our flight got canceled." And I was like, "All right, so when's the next one?" And he goes, "There isn't one currently." And so the pitcher's warming up and our hitters are getting ready to hit. I'm just like, all right, well, he's like, I'm going to go make some calls. I'll let you know. And so Coach Simmons was on the phone pretty much the whole rest of the game, still coaching on the phone, trying to, piece together, the best possible way to get home. And it looked like, from everything he gathered, that the next earliest flight wasn't until Tuesday. So we just made the decision as a coaching staff in game that we were going to try to bus as far home as we could without getting too late into the night. We were going to try to get to Savannah, Georgia-ish by, between 11 and midnight if we could. And then we were going to have 23 hotel rooms there, get a good night's sleep, and get up in the morning and finish the drive Monday morning. As it turned out, we got about, after we won the game on Sunday, we got about 2 hours north of Miami or an hour and a half. And we have 2 brand new buses, and they're great. And we do so to spread our guys out and keep them as safe as possible while traveling and avoid contact tracing. And Ray, our driver, he's driven for the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a long time. Awesome driver. He looks at me and says, "Coach, we got an issue." And I can see all these lights flashing on his dashboard, and there's an electrical failure. So we pulled over. We're on the side of the road for about an hour, and it came to the conclusion that we just need to get off the road. Like we're not supposed to be traveling. We're not supposed to be flying. So let's just get the guys to the closest possible hotel that's nice, and that we can get them. I mean, everybody's smoked at the end of a 4-game series, home or away. Everybody's smoked, and down there in that heat, by this time, it just felt like we just need to get off the road. So again, with Coach Simmons' help and Cindy Olson's help and Susan Carter's help here, everybody, and Sean Fox's help, everybody came together, and we found 23 rooms 20 minutes away and got off the road. Got a good night's sleep. Monday morning, we were, 7 a.m. breakfast, 7:30 on the road. And we rolled back to Charlotte from 7:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. We rolled in, sun was still up, so it was good. But it was a full bus ride home on Monday. So missed class, lost a day of, recovery and getting ahead academically and that sort of thing. So we gave the guys Tuesday. We treated Tuesday as kind of a traditional Monday off day, because bus rides are more taxing than, you might imagine, and let the guys get their legs under them, really recover. And then we got back after it on Wednesday and today with good practice.
That's a good segue, Coach. Speaking of Tuesday, so you guys were originally scheduled to play at Chapel Hill on Tuesday night. So obviously their schedule was different as well, because they got delayed by weather, and they finished up their series with Duke on Monday night. So while you were riding a bus, they were finishing up their weekend series. And then I guess for a combination of reasons, you just ended up pushing again. I think it was just announced today. We rescheduled it for the 27th of April. But talk a little bit about how that process played out.
Yeah, no. So as soon as the Duke UNC series, because of weather, was pushed back to resume Saturday, compete on Sunday, and compete on Monday night, Coach Forbes called me and just said, "Hey, just to give you a heads up that our series has been pushed back. Just give some thought to the game Tuesday night." And I said I will, and we didn't make a decision kind of right out of the gate. We just kind of we went about our series and they went about their series, and then obviously we had the travel issues that I mentioned, and so that changes things for us, and then their series being changed for them, and when you agree to play a game on a Tuesday night, you're kind of both agreeing to the fact that you're going to have a Monday off day as far as coming off of a series. So, that had changed for them. And then, Monday was no longer like a normal off day for us, because we were on a bus for however many hours, 10, 11 hours. So we just felt in the best interest of both teams, and we really want to play. And we thought that we would be, Coach Forbes and I thought that there was a really good chance that we were going to be able to play another date. If that had been the only possible date for us to play, both teams would have probably, sucked it up and played. Maybe. Because both teams really want to play. And so, but just the fact that we thought that we could find another date and play under more normal circumstances, we thought it was a good thing. And so we postponed it and then rescheduled it. We were able to reschedule it for Tuesday, April 27th. And, in my opinion, it's nice to kind of break up the two ODU series and see another opponent.
That is true. You get to that game is situated right in between the home ODU series and the road ODU series. So everybody will probably be glad to see somebody other than ODU right there.
Yeah, we talked about that as a coaching staff too. We actually talked to a couple of players, and all signs pointed to let's play it then.
Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about, and as a result of the work you and the guys are doing, the recognition is really starting to roll in. The rankings have started this week. D1 baseball, which we feel has the most accurate ranking, has us ranked 21st in the country. USA Today coaches poll 27th, NCBWA 28th. I think, Kevin, we were just receiving votes in Baseball America, I think was.
They didn't list the receiving votes, but I'm sure we were.
Baseball America is always behind the times. They'll get there one day. So, at any rate, you guys.
First time since 2011. First time since 2011 we've been ranked. So it was a good feeling. Good to see that on Monday morning when the polls came out. Niners were listed with a little number next to them.
Now I know what you're going to say, Coach. You're going to say, because actually you said it before we even got on. You said that, we don't need a number to tell us anything, right? And that's true. But how does that talk about how that fits? You came in here with a rebuilding plan and with a vision for what we were going to do with this program. Regardless of the number, having that kind of recognition at this point in your tenure that's got to feel great.
Well, I truly don't. It's our tenure. It's our coaching staff. It's our players. It's our administration. It's our Diamond Niner podcast. It's our family. It's our players' families. It's everybody. I mean, it is absolutely everybody. And it's our support staff. It's just the trajectory that we all want to be on. It takes all of us to get there. And I mean that. I feel that. Our coaching staff feels that. I think our players feel that. And, but this, honestly, being ranked in April, that's not our goal. It's nowhere on anywhere have we ever talked about, being ranked. We've never talked about that. We've never listed any goal that we have as a program that takes place in March, April, or, some start in May. Some of our goals start in May, but, we've said it from the beginning. We want to play on ESPN in June. And, so we want to do everything as a program. Every decision we make as a program aligns with that. Does this help us play on ESPN in June? If it does, then let's do it or try. If it doesn't, then let's not, and not be concerned with it. And so, that's honestly how I feel about it. And I think we all do. And, it's nice and it's great because it means that people are talking about our program, which we love. And that's a great thing. But we still have a long ways to go. And we know that.
Kevin, Brad, what I just heard Woody say was that the three of us, we're nationally ranked. That's what I heard. That's what I got out of that.
You guys are number one, man. You guys have been number one for a long time.
In some locales, within our homes, maybe.
I read I read some rankings about top podcasts in the 704.
I think we got a ways to go to catch like Joe Rogan or somebody like that. So yeah,
I think we are the top rated Conference USA baseball podcast in Canada.
Boom.
For sure. Absolutely. There's no way that anybody can lay claim to that other than us. So in the same vein, Kevin, I'm going to let you introduce this one, as I know we're all excited about it. But in the theme of accolades, we got some pretty good news about some attention that Austin Knight got this week. Kevin, why don't you tee that up for us?
Yeah, I guess yesterday the mid-season Golden Spikes watch list came out, and Austin Knight was on it. There's a list of 45 players, the top 45 players in the country make it onto the mid-season watch list. I believe it's the first 49er player to make it on the watch list. And yes, it honors his great first half he's had. He's put up some big numbers, leads the country in doubles. I think he's top 10 in RBIs, playing a great third base, doing it all and getting a much deserved accolades to show for it now. Coach, can you speak a little bit about what Austin Knight has meant to the team this year?
Yeah, you can't quantify, in my opinion, what he has brought to our program. I mean, I know there's formulas out there that you can place a value or a wins above replacement on a player, but his intangibles are through the roof. His competitiveness, his confidence, his clutchness, his team orientedness. I mean, I can go on and on about the attributes that he has brought to our program, and it just spreads. Because everybody sees what he's capable of doing as a player, and they see what it looks like, and they either follow suit or they either say, hey, they one up each other. It just depends on, and that's a great thing. And he's a joy to be around every single day. He brings every single day. Austin Knight's going to show up to the yard, and he's going to be positive energy and positive vibes, and big time competitor who plays for the right reasons. And so it's a lot of fun. We feel like as a coaching staff, we hit the jackpot with Austin coming to our program, and Austin's not the only one. I mean, there's times all the time. I mean, I'll be standing next to Coach Bick and in the dugout, and I'll say, man, I'm so glad Austin's on our team. And he just looks at me and just like, whew, yeah, and it's just, he's not the only one. We say that about guys all the time. I mean, that's kind of how our coaching staff talks about our players when, they're playing at high levels. Just like, man, look at that, man, that's fun to watch, man. Look what he's doing now. And so, we say that a lot about Austin, and he's, again, we can't quantify, really 31 games in what he's amounted. I mean, it's significant. So I'm just excited for him. I'm excited for him to get the recognition and the acknowledgement. And but knowing Austin and the Knight family like I know them, they are tunnel vision on helping this team win and play as deep into June as we possibly can. And that's why these good things are happening to him, is because he plays for the right reasons. So
yeah, love that. And we will add that not yet, Niner Nation, but at a certain point in this process, as it goes forward, if in future rounds of this competition, there's an element of fan voting. So we'll keep you posted on that, because we're ready to stuff the ballot box on that. So if we get a chance to do that, we're absolutely going to do that. Now, here's some other, it's just big news. I keep saying big news. It's a week of big news. We got to talk about this, Coach. It came to light that everything with the NCAA tournament is different this year for all the reasons that everybody already knows.
Yep.
One of those things is that they're doing the host site selections earlier, before the season's even over. Normally that's, you get through and you're doing that as a part of the selection process for the tournament itself. Instead, that's being backed up into early May.
Yep.
And in fact, bids have already been submitted. And it has to do with needing 3 weeks to prepare the site for protocols. And anybody that watched the NCAA tournament basketball saw that, all this stuff. What we know is, what's come to light is that the Niners, Charlotte, the athletic department has collectively submitted a bid to the NCAA as a host.
Yep.
So in addition to Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss from the league, have also submitted bids. Coach, what can you tell us about that process and about how that worked and where we're at with that?
Yeah, I mean, it starts at the top with our administration, with Mike Hill and Darren Spees and Cass Ferguson and many others. As far as, as soon as we have a great weekend at FIU, things change pretty quickly. I mean, it's still really early too, so it's like, but with the updated, with the updated process and everything getting moved earlier, it forces you to kind of, evaluate, here's where we are, here's where we want to be, and here's where we want to go. And, we've said, as a coaching staff and administration here, that we know that, the road to Omaha is we want to run through Charlotte, and by that we mean hosting regionals here. And to do so, you have to put a bid in. So, we feel as though that our players have, earned the opportunity to, 8 weeks through the season, they've earned the opportunity to submit their names in to play postseason baseball here at the Hayes. And it's our job as coaches and administrators to stand up for them and submit that bid and control what we can control. We can't control the decision on whether they decide they allow us to host here or not. But it's our job, in my opinion, it's our job as as coaches and administrators to have the backs of our players. And they've in our opinion, we feel that our players have earned the opportunity to submit a bid, so we did so.
Kevin, I guess one way to look at that is you don't get 100% of the things that you don't ask for.
That's right. You won't get it unless you ask for it. That's right.
That's right. So that's essentially it. And it was and the bids were due on Monday. So they were due on Monday. There was no extensions being granted. So, before Darren Spees had to go to his daughter's softball game, he had to get that bid submitted, which he did, and with the help of Cass Ferguson and Mike Hill and others, we got it submitted, and we'll see what they say. But we've done our due diligence. Now it's to get back to work, get back to practice, get back to focus on other things, and control what we can control.
I'm picturing Darren like one of my students submitting an assignment on Sunday night, sitting there trying to get it ready before whatever and hit submit. That's kind of a funny image in my head. Anyway, I know Darren worked hard on it. Kevin, the next bit of news affects us more than the Niners, and it affects us more than baseball. But some NCAA news kind of broke on us. It's been on the way, but it finally became official. Why don't you tee that one up for us?
Well, there was a couple big things that came out. The one-time transfer rule was approved today, and then they also I guess they said that everybody can go out and start recruiting on June 1st. Is that the date?
Yeah.
So there's two big things out.
Resume normal recruiting calendars for all sport. And, I haven't seen Coach Bicknell since that was announced. I imagine he is through the roof excited for that announcement.
He tweeted about
up the truck already.
Did he really?
Yeah, he tweeted about it.
There you go.
It was a one-word tweet.
Up the truck.
Oh, he's gone. The reason you haven't seen him is he's somewhere packing. He's like, okay, I got to start getting my stuff ready. June 1st will be June 1st before you know it.
Yeah.
Christmas Day for Toby Bick.
Coach Bick's ready to he's ready to get out there and see some future Niners play, which as everybody that knows our program knows, that's how he is. So that is great news. And it's moving the needle back to normal, which we all want. So it's good.
So let's touch briefly on that one-time transfer rule. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now. It's been in the works, but now that it's finally this was coming. I mean, I think any observer of college athletics knew this was coming down the pike, but now it's official, Coach. So what say you?
No, honestly, I don't have much of an opinion on it right now. I really don't. It just got announced. I love this team. I love the players that are on this team. I love the players that we have committed to play on next year's team, and I don't really want to think about, to be honest with you, I don't really want to think about, any players transferring right now. So I'm just going to stay pretty dialed in on what we're doing, and we'll worry about that later.
You're so in the present, Coach. It's a beautiful thing. Despite everything we do to try to drag you out of it, you just stay right there. It's beautiful.
And the future will be here when it gets here. I try to preach that to our guys all the time. I really do. I had our coaching staff. We sat down with a player today, and we talked about the previous 20 pitchers he faced. It doesn't matter. The future 20 pitchers he faces, it doesn't matter. The only as far as hitting goes, it was a conversation about hitting. The only thing that matters for is that one pitcher you have to face in that one at bat. What does he bring? How can he beat you? If he's got nothing to beat you with, do your thing. If he's got one thing to beat you with, adjust and don't let him. But the previous 20 pitchers that you face and the next 20 pitchers you face, they don't matter. They don't matter. So we talk about staying present all the time. It's something that I work very hard at and can certainly improve on. So, it's just, it's important to me. Yeah.
I'll say this. Yeah. We'll keep you there in the present. I'll say this to Kevin. You don't even have to listen. A lot of people in the fan bases, various fan bases, and our fan base have they're worried about this piece of legislation. There's some reaction out there to it, like, oh, I don't like this. And it's not traditional. Okay. It's stuff's changed. The days of guys, and we with basketball, football, the guys of a guy showing up as a freshman and you grow him for 4 years and then he's a star as a senior, that things are different today. They just are. And change is coming. But what I want to say is I don't necessarily think that this is as bad as some people are fearing that it could be. Because when I look at this roster, we just got through talking about a D1 transfer who's on the Golden Spikes watch list, who's now on our roster, who you look at Toby and say, I'm glad he's on our team. And I look behind the plate at Aaron McKeithen, who's a D1 transfer. And I look at shortstop, Jack Dragum, who has started at another D1. And I look at Butch, who started at another D1. And these are guys that are doing the job for us.
Yep.
And I look around and go, okay, this is all about adjusting and moving forward. And I don't necessarily, and it's good I get the argument for the student welfare side of it.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
I also get it when people look at it and they see it changing and they go, the college sports I grew up watching are changing. I get that too, because they are. But talk about standing in the present, Coach. Looking at your roster, I see guys that are getting the job done for us that just started off their career somewhere else. And there's not, that's okay. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point. And we certainly have talked about it as a coaching staff that, we feel like we have so many great examples on our roster that, guys that have, started somewhere else and then one way, shape or form, got to know our coaching staff, got to know our program, got to, really see and feel the vision that we have for Charlotte baseball and wanted to be a part of it, and have come here and have made the most of their opportunities. And, so there's examples all over our current roster of future players that potentially, if we want to start looking in the future, that we can look to and say, to your point, look at our catcher, look at our third baseman, look at our shortstop, and so on and so on and so on. And, hope, we feel confident that, if these are the rules that we're going to play by, then our coaching staff will do so accordingly. And that's just part of it. We can't, change is inevitable. We don't fear change. We just adapt, and we put a lot of time, effort, and energy into, looking at the rules that we're told we need to play by them to the best of our ability. And then we go. And because we don't have time to sit around and complain or, worry or any of that. I mean, that doesn't do us any good as a program. So we're not gonna do that.
Yeah. That's the argument I'm making out amongst the fan base, the people that I've talked to. The argument that I just laid out for you guys, that's what I'm telling people is, look, let me tell you how this works. Let me tell you how this worked for us. Mm-hmm. Let me give you some great positive examples of Niners we've got through this process. So anyway, all right.
You're right.
We'll take you off of that now. Kevin.
See, you guys, I'm going to talk about the past now. You guys are in the present and the future. I'm going to talk about the past a little bit here. Let's talk about some of our awards from last week, Coach. Top performers. We've talked about it all year. We're a very balanced team. Everybody's stepping up in one way or another, any shape or form. And a great example is that there's been 8 Conference USA Players of the Week, 8 hitters and 8 pitchers, and we've had one hitter win Hitter of the Week. Haven't had any pitchers yet, so and we're in first place in the league. So that tells you people are doing their job. We're very balanced, and there's a lot of guys to talk about. So if you want to get started, let's talk about our leadership, effort, and attitude award that you guys gave out this week.
I went to Matt Brooks. Thought Brooksy's overall demeanor and presence, outing was tenacious. Game 2 of the doubleheader, and we talked about it last week about his trajectory, and his trajectory is it's moving up. So he did a phenomenal job, and he does all the little things, right? Like he does all the little things in the dugout, behind the scenes, in the weight room. We felt like last week Brooksy was our best leader.
Yeah, definitely that veteran leader on the team. Let's move on to the defensive player of the week. I know you mentioned a little bit about the defense, the infielder stepping up this weekend, playing on a little different surface. But who'd you guys go with for the defensive player of the week?
Yeah, we didn't give it to any of the guys playing on the dirt this past weekend, but not that they didn't play well. Obviously,
you saw him start grinning as soon as he knew where you were going. You were about to bring this up.
But we mentioned our pitching staff, throwing what we thought was as good as we've seen them in 3 weeks of Conference USA play, games 1 through 4 of the series. And you can't do that without good catching. You can't do that with great, either pitch calling with Coach Miney or blocking, receiving, throwing, just game management stuff. So we thought that Aaron McKeithen and Jacob Whitley were our best defensive players on the week. And, that catch that McKeithen made, I think it was game 1 or game 3. It was one of the night games right up against the wall was tremendous and a huge momentum swing for us. So, and then Witt coming off the bench after Amac rolled his ankle in about the 5th or the 6th inning, didn't miss a beat. Receiving was dialed in, blocking was dialed in, throws were dialed in. Big swing of the bat too. I know we're talking about defense, but I thought our catchers were tremendous.
Gary, and those 4-game weekends, man, I keep saying it every week, but it's a grind for just the fans. Listen on
especially
the radio,
in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami this weekend, 4 games. I mean, that Saturday doubleheader. Gosh, I mean that just. I get tired thinking about that.
I'm fixing some light. Yeah, so those are our defensive players of the week.
All right. We'll move on to quality at bat of the week.
Our quality bat leader was Carson Johnson. Carson was 6 for 15 with 3 walks, 2 Ks, and 4 ribbies. And, whatever stat for clutchness there is, Carson's got it. The other thing, I know this, again, doesn't fall in line with necessarily quality at bats, but you can't help but notice that Carson's also like the dirtiest player every time leaving the field. And playing for Coach Schilt back in the day, that was always a measure of tenacity and toughness. And so not only was he our quality at bat leader, but he was maybe our Sidney Pike dirty uniform of the week award winner.
There needs to be a metric for that. All the advanced metrics that we're coming up with in baseball, there's got to be a way to quantify how dirty a guy gets, because it's what you said. The guys that get dirty, they're always the dudes getting stuff done.
Yep. Carson's uniform is routinely very dirty, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's definitely doing a lot for the Niners past few weeks. Let's move on to who led the league, the team in WHIP this week, Coach?
Our walks and hit innings pitch leader was Spencer Geesting. Goose was 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 punch outs, and 2 really great relief appearances. We mention his name just about every week. He is a huge part of our pitching staff. He can start, he can close, he can be middle game, he can match up, he can do all those things. He's just a really big part of our staff, and with how many appearances he has, he doesn't look like a freshman anymore. So I always love giving him the ball. He's awesome.
Staying on the pitching side of things, starting pitcher of the week. Who did you guys select for starting pitcher of the week?
Our starter was Moroses again. Moroses went 5 innings, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and opponent, FIU hit 133 against him. And he's just got that look. He's got the look about him right now that pressure goes up, pulse goes down. Made a really, can make the really big 3-2 slider when he needs to, can jam, can run it in there on righties when he needs to, can get the big double play ball. He's just got a lot of ways to get guys out, and he's just keeps getting better and better. And we kind of keep him right now around that 70 to 80 pitch mark. But I told him this week, I'm like, hey man, we're getting to the phase of the year where you're getting ready to start running up to 85, 90, 100 plus pitches. So, and he gave me a look like, yeah, it's about time. Leave me in there. So, which is what you want. And he's throwing the ball really well and doing a great job for us.
Yeah, anytime you can extend a start and eat up some innings in those 4-game series, it's positive for the team for the weekend. Moving right along to reliever of the week. You have quite a few to choose from, I believe.
Gave it to 4 guys. We gave it to Goose. We gave it to CeeLo for his his two lockdown appearances out of the bullpen for us. And then we gave it to Trey Starnes and Ryan Chanskowski. And when we were in inning 35. FIU had battled their way in the last inning of the series to get the tying run to the plate with the best part of their order up. And I can't explain how difficult it is. You have to be an incredible team guy, which both Trey and Ryan are, but you have to be, extremely just dialed in, competitive, selfless, and tough, to be ready and to stay ready. Boom, you're in. Oh, and by the way, you're in with, the game on the line and the bases are loaded. Oh, and you're going to face their best hitters. And, Starnesy is such a warrior, and they both are, but Trey walked by me, I think, before the game, and I pointed, I've got my card and my notes, and I look at Figueroa and I say, that's your guy. I was like, I don't know when, but that's your guy. He says, I got him. And that was before the game. And, we thought about matching up Starnesy in the 3rd inning against Figueroa between Sherbinsky and Lindsey, but we opted not to because just in the back of our minds, we thought, if we need to match up in the ninth, or later, the 8th or the 9th, it's going to be, a really big at bat. So we just went straight to Lindsey there in in the third, instead of matching up against Figueroa. And it worked out. Figueroa hit right into a shift double play. I think it was a 6-5-3 to drag him tonight to Gino. And then, so the game rolls on, and Starnesy gets in there and punches him out, man, on some really good sliders, and probably some of the best sliders he'd thrown the whole season. And we talked about this. I mean, Starnesy's looked good every time he's gotten in there. And when he gets that first guy out, we always talk about, hey, let's leave him in there, or let's go to the next guy. And we were going to leave him in there. And we were going to leave him in there based on how he looked right there in that situation. We had Chance ready. We had Chance ready to go. And then, Coach Bick and I were talking, and we looked at the next hitter. We looked at, which we do every time a hitter steps in the box. We look at, various stats and various tendencies and this and that. And the hitter that was in the box was like over 7 against righties on the season, and was hitting 333 against lefties on the season. So I go out to the mound and to make the change and bring Chance in, and Starnesy's like ready to fight me. Like he wants to take a swing at me. And I know Starnesy well enough to, one, appreciate the competitive spirit, but two, also to know that I need to be able to tell him a reason why he's coming out of the game. And so I'm like, Starnesy, like, this hitter hasn't had a hit against a righty the whole year. Like, he's hitting 333 against lefties. Like, come on. And he's like, okay, coach, I got it. We got this. Chance has got this. And Chance is already coming in the game. And, so just, it's just one of those little moments where you're kind of like, I don't know, but it was good. And then, started, like I mentioned earlier, Starnesy is such a team guy and gives the ball to Chance. Chance comes in and just goes like nasty split, ball game over, series over, for such a big punch out. I mean, he threw a really nasty split. I mean, you can see it from the side. Like that hitter was right on time, but Chance really finished that split, and you could see the ball finish under the barrel there for strike 3. Just a really great pitch. And for those guys, I know it's a little bit long-winded there, but I want to make sure and acknowledge the value that they brought in those 2 at bats. I mean, you make one, you don't make those pitches, then we're 3-1. You don't make those pitches, we're 3-1, and then our flight's canceled, and then we're getting on a bus, and our bus breaks down, and it changes everything. So
bonding experience gone wrong.
Yeah, we're just because the whole ride home, we're because those guys, because of everybody, what everybody did, but those two finishing it off like they did, and not to discredit Casey Bargo. Bargo came in there and got a big out for us as well, and Jax was throwing on short rest, and truthfully, I probably didn't give him enough time to get ready there for the game on Sunday, and that's on me. And this weekend and moving forward, we'll make sure he has even more time to get ready. So, all those guys are our whole. You don't do what we did down there at FIU without tons of guys contributing, everybody contributing, and those are 2 examples of it.
One thing that comes to mind, I wanted to ask you about was Friday night when Christian came in a spot there and got the last 2 outs. The final out there, is that the most emotion you've seen out of CeeLo? Because he was pretty fired up. Yeah, probably. He probably I think he told me he took a full scoop of pre-workout right before he went in there. So that that's usually how in CeeLo. You can usually tell by the pace at which CeeLo pitches if he's really slow and deliberate. He probably didn't have his pre-workout, and then if he's kind of fast, he's probably got the half scoop, and then if he goes like really up tempo, you're like, all right, well, he's got a full scoop of pre-workout going. So
I think he had a full scoop, and then you get the last out down there. That was cool to see. It's just cool. It's cool to see him thriving in that role. It's a pivotal role for us. I mean, I think not to knock on wood. I mean, to do what we do, you got to have saves, because that you're going to have way more close games than you are spread out games and I think we have 10 saves on the year, and it's all a credit to CeeLo and Jackson and other guys on the staff that are closing out games. It takes 4-game series, you need multiple guys closing out games.
Well, Coach, we're gonna transition over towards Ask Coach Woody, but we tell people to send us questions through YouTube, and they do. So we're just gonna give them to you. So the first question comes from DW. DW wants to know if you iron your own shirts. So that's
yeah. I iron my own shirts. When I'm in a pinch, I guess I'll throw them in the dryer. I'll throw them in the dryer with a, maybe like a washcloth in there. Kind of does the job a little bit. But yeah.
you know your way around an iron.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, inquiring minds want to know out there. And your boy Feet Davis, he doesn't have a questions. He just wanted to say go Niners. So what's up, Feet?
What's
up, Feet? Yeah. Say go Niners. All right. So let's transition over. Those are unofficial Ask Woody questions, but important nonetheless.
Yeah.
Let's transition over to this week's Ask Coach Woody question. Kevin, are you on this one or am I? You want that one?
Go ahead with it, Nick. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead with it.
I got you, fam. All right. Bill wants to know, Coach, the upcoming back-to-back weekends against ODU is getting a lot of attention, both from fans and the media. And it is. There are a lot of people talking about the 8 straight game thing. This is obviously a product of the unique scheduling arrangement for this season, which includes divisional play to cut down on travel. What is your review of the division format so far? And do you think we could see the league use it going forward?
I love the division format. I think it just makes sense in terms of just fiscally and from a travel standpoint, from a rivalry standpoint. You start to really kind of develop some more regional rivalries and that sort of thing. I mean, Conference USA is really spread out, and I love that. But at the same time, if we can, I think the regional format just really helps navigate everything. I can't speak on, how I feel about playing a team 8 straight times. And now that we have UNC sandwiched in the middle, it's not 8 straight anymore. But as far as conference games goes, it's still 8 straight. So I can't, we have UTSA in here this weekend. You guys know that, that's all we're talking about and focused on right now. So I can't really speak as to how I feel about playing a conference team that many times, in 2 week span. That's for a later podcast at a later date.
I know that don't be surprised if Aaron Fitt from D1 Baseball is not at one or maybe even both those series, because he's got his eyes on it. I think, honestly, Coach, on a certain level, not only, it speaks to how well we're doing and how well Old Dominion's doing, but I think there's just a certain amount of curiosity around what happens if you play 8 straight games against the same opponent.
Yep. Yeah. But like I said, now that we've got UNC sandwiched in there, it's kind of, breaking that up a little bit. But it's a lot of games against one team, and, we're either going to be, I can't imagine a scenario where you love, you're best friends with another team. So, it's probably I guess you're either going to be a rival or you're just going to be sick of them. It's kind of like one or the other.
I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Find out. We got
all right.
We got another opponent.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Let's talk about that other opponent. Let's shift gears. Let's start looking towards UTSA. Kevin, I'll let you introduce UTSA to everybody. But first, we cannot forget to remind everyone that this is the Charlotte 49ers Grand Slam Club look at the week ahead. Grand Slam Club doing really well. Niner Nation Gives was last week, which was the university's day of giving, around 4-9 day. Phenomenal program, by the way. I think we set a record on that, Kevin. It was like $2 million raised for the university, various causes, in 49 hours. So that was huge. And we saw Twitter traffic that were a number of people were using that opportunity to join the Grand Slam Club. So if you're one of those people and you're listening, we appreciate that. So that's the Grand Slam Club look at the week ahead. Kevin, why don't you introduce the Roadrunners?
Coach, I know you've been waiting the whole show to talk about UTSA, so here we go. UTSA comes into the Hayes this weekend. They're 14-12 overall, 6-5 in the conference. In conference play, they won 3 or 4 over Rice and 3 or 4 from Middle Tennessee, and they were swept by Southern Miss. They only played 3 games of that series. Coach, I know you guys have watched a lot of film on UTSA this week. What can you tell us about the Roadrunners?
Well, I mean, they're probably one of the most, this is probably going to be one of the most veteran lineups, either between, true seniors or COVID seniors. I mean, they've got a ton of 22, 23-year-olds in their lineup. Dylan Rock, he might be one of the best hitters in Conference USA. And, they've got a really deep pitching staff. They've got a lot of guys that can, they're going to be in that like kind of 89 to 92 range with good off speed, and they throw strikes and really compete. So there's really not going to be much let up. They can do a little bit of everything. I mean, they can hit for power. They can hit for average. So, I think we're gonna have a really tough test. I mean, Pat Hallmark, their head coach, longtime assistant coach at Rice under Wayne Graham, been to the College World Series a number of times. With Rice when those teams were stacked, and so we know that we're going to have a really tough test here this weekend across the board.
And it looks like similar rotation we're going with McGowan, Rosas, Brooks, and then TBA again on Sunday. Seems like it's working out pretty well for us so far.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of go with the philosophy that we don't like to hold anybody back. That we feel like, the series victory can be decided prior to Sunday. So for us, we feel like potentially holding a pitcher back, that can help us win the series prior to Sunday. We feel like that's the approach we want to go with. Is we want to try to win the series before Sunday, if possible. But then also too, it gives us time to, we've obviously watched film and we've done scouting and that sort of thing. But at the same time, it also gives us really a feel to see UTSA's lineup and how it's, handling certain types of pitchers over the course of game 1 and game 2 and game 3. And then we can decide, who we feel like first time through the order on Sunday, gives us the best shot, as far as getting deep into the game. Like we did that last weekend with FIU. We felt like velocity with a slider was a really good matchup against that right-handed lineup from FIU. So, Colton Trubinsky, that's really what he does. I mean, he's velocity and sliders. He does have a changeup, but he's velocity and sliders. And, Hale Sims is more velocity and changeups. So has a good slider. But we feel like Trubinsky's slider against those right-handed hitters at FIU, we felt like that really, gave us a good chance to go at least one time through the order. So if we just we go full throttle the first 3 games to do everything we can to win each of those games in order. And then we see where we're at on Sunday as far as, who's left available and what best matchup we can, attack with.
I'm glad you mentioned that about Sunday, because I was curious. So I guess the strategy was you saw something during the weekend. You had a plan to maybe for Stravinsky to go at one time through the lineup, and then you I guess going to Lindsey for the long haul.
Yeah, we felt like Andrew Lindsey was going to throw 80 to 100 pitches, no matter what on Sunday, based on how he threw 21 pitches on Friday. We felt, and he didn't throw on Saturday. We're like, okay, Andrew's going to throw 80 pitches. When do we want those 80 pitches to be? They can be in the first inning. We're going to face the top of the order, and that's going to be a really important inning. Or we can, maybe use an opener of sorts and, like Colton, and let Colton get us as deep as we can, and then pass it off to Andrew and let him throw his 80 to 100 pitches. Instead of us having to pull Andrew Lindsay in the 7th inning, we got to pull him in the 9th inning, or the 6th inning, we got to pull him in the 9th inning. We felt like learning from previous weekends, we felt like that was beneficial. Maybe not necessarily, we might not have the luxury or be able to do that on Sunday this weekend. We'll see how it goes because Andrew's available out of the bullpen tomorrow. But we're gonna try to explore all options, and we're not gonna just do something preset because maybe that's the way it's always been done, or whatever it may be. Heck, we started Trey Starnes against a left-handed hitter, and then went to Morozes to face right. After that, we're gonna explore all options in that Sunday game and do what we feel like gives us the best chance.
So, Coach, we'll take a look at a sort of tail of the tape here on Charlotte versus UTSA here in a second. But one thing that comes to mind, and I'll let you address it as you see fit. One of the themes of the last few weeks has been how healthy we're getting. We saw Dominic Pilali return. We saw we're sort of rounding into form. Now, a big part of that was Big Maple giving it a go and then coming out, and maybe he wasn't feeling exactly the way he wanted to right there. So I know with sometimes recovery is it's not a straight line path, and you just kind of have to work your way back. What can you tell us about Big Maple, Dave McCabe, and
he's getting closer and closer to full go. You'll probably see him in short spurts this weekend, but we're always gonna have his best interest. Our program's best interest combined with his best interest at the forefront. And, for us to go where we want to go in April, May, and June, we need him to be healthy. We need him to be 100%. So if that means that, we've got to, hold him out a little bit longer, then we'll do that. And fortunately, we've shown our players and our team has shown that, with Gino playing first and other guys stepping in there, that we can get it done while he gets healthy. But I don't know if we have a player that works any harder or takes any better care of himself than David, and we know that. And the cool thing about McCabe is when he's not in there, he's like another coach. He's got it between the ears. He sees the game at a really high level. He's communicating with other players. He's communicating with our coaches. So, he's making the best of the circumstances and being a huge asset to our team, even while he's on the mend and getting back to full go. But he'll get there. And Brianna Richards, our athletic trainer, she's unbelievable and does a great job. And Eric McKibben, our director of performance, we all work together to ensure that we can get him back as soon as he's ready.
Now, tell the truth. Nobody's listening. It's just me and you. It's killing him inside, isn't it? Because he's in the dugout and his teammates are raking, and that dude wants to hit.
Of course, yeah. Every player wants to be in there. We know that, and but like I said, he's making the best of the circumstances. He's controlling what he can control, and that's all we can do. So, yeah, it's certainly eating at him, but it's our job as coaches to get him back in there when he's ready and full go, and we'll do so when the time's right.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Glad I'm taking that as a positive report. So
yeah, we're moving forward. You know, we're the needle's moving, you know, closer. So
yeah, good stuff.
It just takes time.
Kevin, why don't you walk us through a quick tale of the tape with Charlotte and San Antonio, and we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, just a quick bird's eye view. It looks like on paper, fairly even matchup as far as Conference USA stats. We're second in batting average. They're fourth. Runs scored. We're third. They're fifth. Runs allowed. We're sixth and they're fifth. So fairly close on paper. If you're taking a bird's eye view look at things, the biggest difference really on opponent's batting average against. We're first in the conference with a 221 opponent's batting average, and they are sixth with a 260 batting average allowed. So they're fairly even on paper as far as the stats go.
I know we say this every week, but that's just the nature of conference play. It's just going to be a long weekend. It's just going to be a dogfight starting tomorrow night at 6:00 and just all the way on through.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are no easy weekends ever, but certainly not in Conference USA. So we are mentally and physically preparing for the dogfights in front of us this weekend.
Yeah, let's talk about Conference USA here a little bit and talk about what we're kind of frame the conversation as far as what we're looking at here. The league is currently sixth in the RPI nationally, so that's fantastic, by the way. 4 teams in the top 30, including the Niners at 21. A lot of national attention. All 4 teams, not only us, but Old Dominion, Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss showing up in a lot of projections. On and on. We talk about those. Particularly want to look at is the conference race. With the Niners sitting there at 11-1, Old Dominion at 10-2, Louisiana Tech at 10-2, and then Southern Miss at 8-3. Okay, so we know we got to take care of business against San Antonio. That goes without saying. The key matchups to watch this weekend, folks, if you're other than our games, of course. Old Dominion is getting a visit from Rice, which, you know, just between me and you and the fence post, we expect Old Dominion to do really well there because they're playing really well. On the other hand, Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss are playing each other, and that series is in Ruston. Earlier in the season, Louisiana Tech got 3 of 4 out of Southern Miss. So Southern Miss is going to be coming to Ruston looking to exact a little revenge and get back in the race. So not looking ahead, Coach Woody, but that Louisiana Tech Southern Miss series, we need those guys to beat up each other a good bit before Charlotte and Old Dominion do the same thing to each other for 8 straight games. But that's where we're sitting at. This is, I said it last week. I said, hey, we're in a conference race. Here we are, 11-1. FAU did the job for us on Sunday and got that game from Old Dominion. And here we are with a 1-game lead over Old Dominion and Louisiana Tech. So the race is getting interesting.
You're going to get some coach speak here, Nick.
I know it. Go ahead, and then I'll interpret it.
The coach speak and the truth is that, you know, we control our own destiny. Like, we are not going to – you cannot win Conference USA. You cannot make the conference tournament. You cannot make the NCAA tournament. You can't do anything that we all want to do in the future because other people give it to us. We got to go get it. We got to go get it this weekend against UTSA, and we got to go get it each game moving after that. So that's just the way it works. I've learned that over the years. I really have because, you know, there was times, you know, when I was younger as a player or a younger coach that, you know, you'd win a game and then you'd go, you know, pull for an outcome and just no matter. You gotta, you know, we've got to go do our thing. We've got to play our game, and, you know, whatever shakes out around us. because we're gonna have to play everybody, except for 3 teams, but we're gonna have to play everybody, and it's a similar analogy would be like no players made it to the big leagues because everybody else was terrible. You can't make it to the, you know what I mean? Like you can't get to the big leagues as a minor league player because everybody else around you slumps and doesn't perform. Like you have to get to the big leagues, you have to perform. You've got to show out. And it's the same way. It's the same way for us, here. Like we've got to go, anything that we want to achieve, we've got to go get it.
Coach, you're exactly right, and I could not agree with you more. But Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss, if y'all are listening, just know that Nick, Kevin, and Brad want y'all to split that series this weekend. Thank you. Appreciate it. and that Coach Woody doesn't give a crap about what y'all do. But
I honestly don't.
But the three of us, we want y'all split. So sorry. All right. That's all I'll say, Coach. It's okay. I'm good. All right. About time to wrap this thing up. It's about time to go jump on UTSA. Kevin, what you got some baseball games this weekend? Coach Harward involved this weekend?
Oh yeah. We got a full slate on Saturday, so ready to roll.
All right, I can't say we're expecting 2 victories from you because you don't keep scoring. All right.
Coach Harward, you checking curfew on your guys? Your spring breakers, you checking curfews Friday night?
I'm checking on 2 of them at least.
It sounds like you need to.
Wait until we get Coach Harward a Twitter account just for Coach Harward, and he live tweets a game that he's coaching.
That would be fire.
I mean, Diamond Niner Report will retweet that. I mean, there's no way that doesn't happen. It'd be fantastic. All right, Coach Woody, I always give you the last word so you can correct all the stuff I say. So go ahead. Last word is yours.
I have 2 last words. And the first one is I meant what I said earlier, that, everything we do as a program is a byproduct of everyone. It is a byproduct of everyone's support, everyone's passion, everyone's effort, energy, etc. And the more of all that we have from everyone, the faster we climb, the faster we move, and without it, you can't. So I'm just so thankful and appreciative of you guys and all the close supporters and family members that are listening here tonight. And for those that are listening tomorrow, once it's posted, I just can't stress it enough. Thank you, everybody, for all of your support and your passion for Charlotte baseball. I can assure you that our players are not done and are anxious to keep going and to keep climbing. And it's April 15th, so we have a long ways to go. So thank you for your support. And then the last thing I'll close with is we talked about Old Dominion a bit, and this past week, Coach Fenwood, who's very, very respected coach, and I've known him a long time. His wife Annette passed away from cancer this past week, and I just my thoughts and prayers and all of our coaches and programs' thoughts and prayers are with Coach Fenwood and his family at this time. I know that our game on Sunday at Old Dominion is going to get pushed back to, I think, 3:00 so that he can attend the service. And it's real life stuff. It's heavy. We all get so wrapped up in wins and losses and standings and stats and accolades and this and that, and it's a not needed reminder that all of us coaches have families, players have families. As tough as some of the battles can be, and I'll just, as that Sunday game at Western Kentucky, as tough of a loss as that was, we need to all maintain perspective. And, So all of our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Fenwood, and we just we need to be appreciative of each and every day we have, and be thankful. So that's all.
Well said, Coach. Can't put it any better than that. Fantastic. All right, folks. That's it for us. You've heard Coach Woody. You've even heard us. It's time to jump on UTSA. Time to get fired up. We got some very important baseball games starting tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at the Hayes. So if you have a chance to get out there, I know some tickets were out floating around out there available. Season ticket holders and Grand Slam Club members were able to get a hold of some tickets. So if you're one of those people, show up. Be ready to do your thing. This is an important weekend of baseball. Going to be great weather at the park. Going to be fantastic. Feel free to reach out to us, social media. If you see us at the Hayes, say hello. We love doing that stuff. We love talking to y'all. We love talking Charlotte baseball. It's a great family. We appreciate you letting us be a part of it. So until next time, we'll see you at the Hayes.
Good night.